Welcome to the first board meeting of 2025. I call the meeting of the Board of Directors of Redox OS to order. When I state your name, please acknowledge your presence. I'm Ron Williams. I'm present. Jeremy Solar.
Present.
Alberto
Souza, present.
Jacob Schneider.
Present.
We have a quorum. First thing is the minutes from the previous board meeting. They've been provided to you. Are there any corrections? If there's no corrections, the minutes are approved as distributed. As required by the bylaws, the Redox OS nonprofit elects its directors and officers every year. Just to clarify, an officer is someone who performs duties on behalf of the board, while a director is a voting member of the board. So for Redox OS, officers are also directors. So as we elect our officers, we're also electing them as members of the board. And in particular, the president presides over the board meetings and the vice president acts in the president's place if the president cannot attend a board meeting. I would like to open the floor for nominees for president and director.
I nominate Ron Williams for officer and director.
Seconded.
Are there any other nominees for president and director? If there's no other nominees, all those in favor of myself, Ronald Williams, for president and director, say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
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 The ayes have it. Yours truly, Ronald Williams, is elected president and director. I would like to open the floor to nominees for vice president and director.
I nominate Jeremy Solar to the office of vice president and director.
I second that.
Are there any other nominees for vice president and director? If there's no other nominees, all those in favor of Jeremy Solar for vice president and director say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
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 The ayes have it. Jeremy Solar is elected vice president and director. I would like to open the floor for nominees for secretary and director.
I would like to nominate Alberto Souza as the secretary and director.
Jeremy, do you mind
Seconded.
doing the second? Are there any other nominees for secretary and director? If there's no other nominees, all those in favor of Alberto Souza for secretary and director say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Alberto Souza is elected secretary and director. I would like to open the floor to, I'm going to do this slightly out of order, sorry. I would like to nominate, can we skip down to the nomination of Jacob for director? Alberto?
Which part? Sorry.
So skipping down to about 8 lines. Nomination of Jacob Schneider.
Not the treasure part, right?
Right, just after that.
Okay. Yes, thanks. I nominate Jacob Schneider for director.
Seconded.
Are there any other nominees for director? If there are no other nominees, all those in favor of Jacob Schneider for director say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Jacob Schneider is elected director. And just for clarity, I'm going to just give a minute to, or a few seconds to allow any other nominees for director. So now is the time if there's any other nominees for director. If there's no other nominees, I would like to open the floor to nominees for treasurer. Jacob, do you want to do that? I'm skipping back.
Jeremy. Yep. I would like to nominate the Jeremy Solar for treasurer.
Alberto? We've gone backwards now.
It's the voting part.
Yes, seconding for the treasurer.
Aye.
Sorry, it's just to second it.
Second.
Great. Are there any other nominees for treasurer? If there's no other nominees, all those in favor of Jeremy Solar for treasurer say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Jeremy Solar is elected treasurer. Okay, moving ahead. So Jeremy, this was the most essential part of the meeting. So if there is any issue, if you need to drop out, and Jacob as well, I know you're tight for time, but I'd like to just get through the budget and then we'll wrap up. Okay, so I have sent a very early draft of the financial report for 2024. Jeremy and I will need to work on this to make sure it's complete, but a very quick summary is that we have total net assets of $28,000 at this point, and we generated about 26,500 in revenue, and we spent approximately 13,300 in expenses. So that's the very fast summary, and we will be updating that as we work out the details and finalize the statements. So that was a very quick summary of the financials. Can I get a motion to discuss the 2025 budget?
Move it.
Second.
Okay, so the purpose of this discussion is to enable spending for 2025. So I've provided a basic operating budget with some rough estimates based on the most conservative view of grants and funding. I will be providing a revised budget once we have a development plan, which should be coming next month. So the estimates for expenses, we've got server hosting is about 1,500. Community manager is right now estimated at 9,600 for the year. Miscellaneous expenses and accounting and filings are $500 each, so about $1,000 in various expenses. I've set aside $5,000 as a provision for taxes because our tax status is still a little bit up in the air. So I just wanted to have a buffer there for
Ron,
worst case scenario. Yes.
If I may provide some information, so our application was sent in September, I believe, and they are currently processing applications from June. So we have not had our application looked at yet. It will probably be another 3 months before, and that's going to be after the time to file taxes this year. So it's probably safest for us to file standard taxes.
Okay, so I'm not sure what the corporate tax rate is, but we do have about $13,300 in net income for the year.
Yeah, it will be roughly, well, I can calculate it. And I can also try to file I can file tax and also file for an extension. An extension would put it out to October, which would probably be after the IRS evaluates our application, but we would have to pay the estimated amount in April.
Okay. All right, so we can adjust the tax situation, but for now, I'm assuming $5,000 buffer in case the taxes are payable. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, hopefully I'm back. Okay, so Redox summer of code, I've set aside 11,000. And then other development, I've set aside 15,000. So that gives us total expenses of 43,100. The income, we're expecting 7,200 for Patreon and sorry. 7,200 for Patreon, 800 roughly in merchandise, 12,000 in expected grants. So there's money that has been allocated by NLNet that we need to complete the work, but otherwise that money is expected. And I'm just assuming at this point no other donations or grants for the purpose of this budget. Total income of $20,000. So with this particular budget, we're running a deficit of 23,100. But that leaves us with a final balance of about $5,000 cash at the end of the year, assuming no new grants. We can adjust this budget as we go forward, but I would like this to be the working budget. So are there any concerns with the budget as presented? Any questions? If there's no questions, could I get a motion to approve the budget?
Moved.
Seconded.
Oh, and this is to also authorize the treasurer to make expenditure. So could I get you to make a motion again, Jake?
Oh, moved. Yep.
Alberto, can you second it again?
Seconded.
It's moved and seconded that the operating budget is approved and the treasurer is authorized to make expenditures according to the budget. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
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 It's the ayes have it, and the motion is carried. The treasurer is authorized to make expenditures according to the budget. Okay, can I get a motion to discuss fundraising?
Moved.
Seconded.
Okay, so the most immediate opportunity for grants at this time is NLNet. I've submitted 3 proposals totaling 80,000 euros right now. And depending on how they respond to these proposals, we might be able to apply for more funding from NLNet in the next few months. So it's my hope that we'll be able to fund at least 1 or maybe 2 full-time developers in the later half of this year. So that would be roughly around June. I'm waiting for feedback from NLNet before proceeding with a development plan. Excuse me. So hopefully we'll be able to create a development plan in February based on their feedback. We will be applying for Google Summer of Code this year. And we're going to try and, excuse me, build relationships with vendors going forward. So that's going to be a major point of emphasis because of the challenges with open source funding in Europe as things have changed. Now, yeah, so one point is that I have asked the board to, I've asked the board and the board has agreed that I can include funded work for myself as part of the proposals that we submit. So I would be able to personally obtain funding for some of the work that I'm submitting proposals for. And as I mentioned, that has been approved by the board. Are there any questions or concerns?
Yeah, I would ask to elaborate on that. Would you be developing parts of the Redox system in your time as a board member, or would you be working on that as a separate position?
So if so, it would not be as a board member. There's two possibilities. One is that I would receive funding directly from NLNet to myself or to my personal corporation. The other possibility would be me contracting with the nonprofit for the work. The work could include requirements analysis, writing white papers, RFCs, or could include development work. The bylaws of the nonprofit allow for board members to also work as contractors to the nonprofit, but that's separate and distinct from the role of director. Does that clarify?
Yep, thank you very much.
Okay. Are there any other questions or concerns on fundraising or on the topic of me receiving funding? Okay, can I get a motion to discuss the other action items?
Moved.
Seconded.
Sorry, I'm having a bit of a coughing issue. So the following action items have been previously identified. So if anybody has anything to report on these items, please step in, but otherwise, I'm just going to list them. So in terms of contributing coordinators, I have an action item on me to try to set up GitLab projects for some of the various things that we're working on. Regarding the website, Jacob and I are working on that. So Jacob is going to create a merge request, and I'm going to be reviewing that and applying comments.
So on that point, sorry.
Yes.
Just to intervene them, the website and the merge request is ready. I've been working on just rectifying a few of the merge conflicts. So just to be transparent about where we're at, we're stuck in GitL again. Yeah.
Okay, great. So once those issues are clarified, then have the
then we can
iterate with you.
to work on that website.
Okay, and then there's an action item for Jeremy to draft the trademark document.
Sorry, 1 second. Does the wrong audio is good for you?
Sorry, I'm having trouble speaking, so that may be an audio problem.
I'm listening to oscillations on your audio.
It is a little choppy,
Yes.
but I think we got enough of it.
Okay.
The
I'll try and
problem is
speak up.
that the audio is being cropped.
Oh, shocking. It's clipping the audio out.
Yes.
Okay. Um,
It's not too bad at the moment.
okay. Just yeah, I don't see a way to switch to the laptop microphone without getting the echo problem. So I think I'll just proceed.
I think it's okay now. Yeah.
Okay. So there's an action item for Jeremy to draft a Redox trademark document based on Cosmic's document. Then we have these two new action items. Excuse me. 2024 financials is for me and Jeremy to complete and review. 2025 development plan is an action item on me and Jeremy. I'm waiting for feedback from NLNet, and then I'll provide a draft, and then Jeremy and I can work on that. Are there any other new items? Any new action items? Okay. I would like to propose the following agenda for the next board meeting to take place no later than June 30th. It would be the approval of the minutes from this meeting, the report on fundraising, report on development, and report on the above action items. Is there any other business to discuss at this time?
Perhaps we could discuss briefly the Summer of Code project. I saw that there was a Google Summer of Code project. I found a couple of people interested in participating, and maybe perhaps we can discuss a form of campaign to get those publicized around universities, so we can maybe get more eyes on the whole situation.
Yes. Okay. So we will incorporate that into the development plan, which hopefully we can make some progress on in the next 2 weeks. So Jake, can you write some notes on, I know you've already posted a message about it, but can you write some notes that we can incorporate into the development plan, and
Sure.
then we can start to action that?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Any other business to discuss at this time? There being no other business, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Move it.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that we adjourn. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned.